Hi everyone, today I've got a really exciting video for you. I'm going to talk to you about CatchCam, which is a free filmmaking app on iOS devices. It is fantastic. Even as a paid one it would be good, but it's free so it's even better. This is made by a Ukrainian and Russian team of filmmakers who use this for a 5-hour one long take, and I have to tell you, these guys have done an incredible job, and let me show you what this app is all about and what incredible features you get with it. One in particular has blown me away. So here we are in Catch Camera. Now this is a fantastic app. If you look at the top, you've got all the details of your shots and your features that you're using. So if we look to the left hand side, you can see ISO. We've got shutter speed, our color temperature in Kelvin, our f-stop, which can change as you're moving the focus dial on the bottom left here. And then you've got UHD, so that's essentially 4K. That's telling you what your resolution is, 25 FPS, your time code, a thermometer, which I believe tells you when your phone's overheating or about to overheat and at which time that will affect your footage. The red little square there looks like a sort of saving disk. That is your storage, so that's red at the moment because I haven't got much storage left. And then next to it you've got a battery of 98, so that's 98% full battery. And then you've got the details on the phone shot that you've labelled. So all of your label situation will be all detailed in that top right hand side. Now what is really nice is you can actually move this dial from left to right. So if you can't see what's on the far right, you just slide that along and the menu will show you everything you need to see at the end of that dial. So on the left hand side you can see you've got these plus symbols. If I press on a plus symbol, the settings that would normally be in a menu are all listed here in terms of false color, focus peaking, histogram, LUT, mirroring, audio on and off, mirroring, LUT on and off, and presets that you can make as well. But then what I realized is you can actually create a quick preset of different features you want to use, so you can turn these on and off quick. And I press on focus peaking now on the top left. That is the focus peaking being done for me, so you can see those red sort of lines and dots appearing on what is most in focus. And you can tap it again to turn it off. You've got histogram as well, so you can have that. If I turn that on, you see the histogram then turns onto the right hand side of the screen here. And if I tap it, that comes off, and easier, which is very practical. Now on the left hand side you can see the audio bar there as well, and then at the bottom you've got white balance. Now if you tap it, hold it so it's yellow, that makes it go into auto white balance. So when it's white, that's locked, when it's yellow, it's unlocked. And if you hold white balance, you get the presets here as well, so you can tap on any one of these to use for your settings, and then tap the screen to get rid of it. Now the focus dial on the bottom left works as you'd imagine. Bringing it towards you makes it shallow depth of field. Bringing that dial to the right hand side into the middle gives you a deeper depth of field. So it's a nice smooth way to set your focus. On the right hand side you've got ISO, works in exactly the same way. Bring it up, bring it down to its lowest, which is what you want. And then you've got shutter speed, which works in the same way. You can see in the top left that shutter speed changing in steps. You've then got your lens picker on the right hand side, so right now I'm on the wide angle lens, but I can go to the ultra wide angle, which takes you here. And then of course, if you hit record, you've now got the red frame around your screen, which is a really nice touch because you get this on professional cameras, and it just shows you everything looking really professional as you would want. And it just is a nice little reminder that you are actually recording. And then when it comes to focus as well, you can use a focus reticule that looks very much like the one you'd get in your native camera app, and you can move that around your phone screen just the same way as you would with Filmmaker Pro, for example. And then when you let go of it, that's locked, that disappears, and your focus there is locked. Now if you look to the right hand side, you'll see we've got a settings cog at the top right. So if you press on that, we've now got all the main settings that are outside into a main menu. So if you go to video, you can see we can select which camera we're going to use out of the phone. We've got a choice of SDR 10-bit, Smart DR, and Dolby Vision. Video stabilization, you've got standard, cinematic, cinematic extended, and auto. Then you've got frame rates. So at 4K, you can only shoot up to 30 frames per second. You cannot shoot 60 frames per second. Just because that project says 60 frames doesn't mean that's what the whole shot is. As you can see currently on this screen, on the top in the middle, it still says 25 frames per second. So we're currently matched at with 25 frames per second in the project frame rate. In the codec, your HEVC and bitrate, it only goes up to 100, but that's still very high. It's not as high as the likes of B-Script, for example, but you can get a high amount with 100 megabits per second. That's more than enough for most cases. And then you can also use the shutter step. So that's what I was talking about. If you turn the shutter off and we go back into the main screen, you'll see if I turn the shutter speed up, it's now going up in increments of 1. So it's no longer going in steps. Whereas if you go to settings, video, and then turn shutter speed step on, it steps up the shutter speed rather than going one at a time. Audio, you just got what kind of audio you're going to use. I'd always use ACC. Then we've got going back into settings, overlay. So you've got status always visible. You've got false color, focus peaking, and audio levels. You can see on the left hand side here, you can turn that off or have it back on screen as well. You've also got the use of a histogram and LUT preview, and you can turn LUTs on or off, and you can choose different looks. Now these are not baked into the footage. After some testing on the Catch Camera app, it does look to me like they're baked into the files that you've shot, as when I play them back they still have the colouring on them, just to let you know, but you can test this for free. So I presume this is more like just to play around and see what kind of looks you might want to go for your shots. Now you've got frame guides. So if I set the frame guide to be, for example, a 241, I can then start making the background that's blurred less and less visible so you can see straight through it. So it's called background opacity. So if I bring this right down, you'll see that the outside starts to become clearer and clearer, so you just have that guide of the white line, you can see everything else. But if I bring that right back up, you'll only see what is within the frame guide that you're using for your aspect ratio. And you can downscale that as well to make it smaller, and you can offset it by the X and Y axes as well. In action mode, it's much the same. I believe they just labeled this differently. That's exactly the same. So you're essentially making two presets with these frame guides. You've got frame guide 1 and frame guide 2. Now below frame guides, you've got meta. So this is your metadata. So when you're actually labeling your clips, these are all the things that will be included in the post-production clip files names. So you've got the shot, you can turn it on and off, and you can see that adjusts the label just above. So if I turn off the scene, that disappears, bring it back, it labels it. Take away the camera, takes it away, etc, etc. So you're taking away or adding bits of the information you want kept onto your file names, which is a really, really good high-end thing to have. And again, you can tell that this is made for filmmakers by filmmakers, and you can adjust the date, the time, all that kind of stuff, the custom prefix, so you can change the name of the camera name, all this kind of stuff, the scene numbers, that, everything. You can lock orientation, you can link camera parameters, so if you want to do mirroring, then you can make sure that the settings are the same, and you've got privacy, terms of use, blah, blah, blah. Now, without a shadow of a doubt, the best feature that is absolutely brilliant with this CatchCam app is the ability to film on device A and then control it from device B. So it's essentially a Filmic remote app built into this free app CatchCam. And the best thing about it is you don't get any delay whatsoever in your footage from camera A to camera B. So let me explain how this works. So with camera A here, you go to settings. And under settings, you'll see video mirroring, which we skipped over earlier on. If we press on mirroring, we've got all the different things that we want to mirror. So you can even include what kind of resolution you want to mirror it to. So I put 1080p, full HD. You've got audio options. You can choose whether to use your overlays, that kind of stuff. You've got various options as well that you can use and check off. But if you turn it on, you now see that the record button has turned to light blue. That now means that it's open to being paired with a second device. So we take the second device and we hold what is the gallery button. So if you were to press on that, you just get the gallery. You can press select and then choose by pressing the option up top left here, the three dots, what you want to do in terms of exporting that or deleting a clip. But we're going to press cancel and X, and instead we're going to hold on that button. So if we hold, it is now searching with your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth turned on for both devices for that first camera. So now we're going to press on the first one here. And now we have the footage that is from the first camera beamed into camera B. This is absolutely fantastic. And you can see when I move something in front of this camera, my hand, that's moving at exactly the same speed on both cameras. There is 0% delay from camera A to camera B, and that is absolutely amazing for professional filmmaking. To get from camera A to camera B with 0 delay is something I've never seen in any filmmaking app before, and the guys at CatchCam with their tiny team have managed to come up with something that not even Filmic Pro, that's £50 a year, and it's completely bug-free to my knowledge so far. Whereas with Filmic Remote, I've had so many issues trying to do focus pulls, that kind of stuff. Whereas with this, it's very smooth. You can change the focus, and you can see that moving in camera A, making sure that that's nice and clear. And then you can change the white balance, as you'd imagine, and then you've got ISO, shutter speed, and you can even choose which lens you're going to select from your B camera. So as we're recording in ultra wide angle, press on the wide angle, and you can indeed change the camera lens during a take. And of course, when you hit record, that will be saved into your A camera gallery as well. So we're going to press X on the top left here of the camera B, then press X top right. Now as we bring our attention to our camera A, we go to Settings, Video Mirroring, and simply turn off Mirroring Enabled. And again, the fact that this is free is ridiculous. Now really the only features that are missing are there's no stitch recording on this app at all, there's no 4K at 60 frames per second, and there are no log or flat profiles to be shooting in. However, in the latest update they have added ProRes codec for iPhone 14 Pro and iPhone 14 Pro Max. This is a brilliant app. I've only had 1 or 2 moments where it's crashed, and apart from that it's worked perfectly. So do check out your app store right now and download CatchCam to test it out, see if it's something you want to use moving forward. And if you want to learn more about smartphone filmmaking apps, then check out my app playlist right here. See you on the next one, take care, bye bye.